Hello, how you all doing? So 4 months ago, I looked in the mirror and I caught sight of myself, and I did not like what I saw. I'd gained weight, dimples around my legs, eye bags, and a very round fat face. Now, all in my 20s and after I had my children, I was a proper gym rat. I loved the gym. I went all the time, noticed all my gains and everything like that, you know, and I felt really good about myself. But then somewhere along the way I lost myself a little bit. You know, life happens and all that sort of stuff where you don't really have time for yourself. So I went to the gym less. I was spending less time there when I was going, and it got to the stage where I just didn't want to go anymore. I was so miserable, and the fact that I felt miserable, it affected my body. It affected me wanting to actually go out and do things, you know. I was doing stuff around the house and obviously taking care of business, like, you know, in my private life and stuff like that, but I proper neglected myself. So as soon as I saw myself in the mirror 4 months ago, that's when something switched in me, and I thought, nah, things have got to change. And when I say change, I mean everything. So I changed gyms, and changing gyms is sometimes the best thing you can do. And I thought, no, I'm not going to just settle for standard, I'm going to invest in myself. So I joined David Lloyd. When I joined the gym, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to actually get a PT. That's something I never ever did before. I never ever used a PT because I thought, no, I can do it myself, you know, ignorant-minded really. I think the reason why I avoided actually allowing someone to help me is because I've been conditioned my whole life where if you ask for help, you're penalised for it, or, you know, you're looked at as a burden. And also me putting trust in someone else as well. Having someone tell me what's good for me and everything like that, it was something I ain't used to. And that's where the pad work come in. Now, when I first did that first session, I was an absolute state. Like, I burnt out so quickly. And that made me so angry at myself, because I think back to when I was 20 odd and the stamina I had, it was like it wasn't me anymore, you know. But despite thinking like that, I thought, no, don't give up, keep going. And the more I was doing it, the more I felt myself coming back to myself. Punching a few pads around and doing some intense circuits afterwards, it kind of realigned me. Honestly, I really felt a shift within me, and it was such a good feeling that I started looking forward to the PT sessions. I was turning up at the gym more. I was challenging myself on all the equipment, going heavier, adding on a set, and also doing the cardio on my own, like whether it's a treadmill or a bike. But I chose the bike. Before I stopped going to the gym before, I was getting on a bike, doing a little bit of cardio. One, it was boring, and two, I would burn out so quickly, it was ridiculous. And I think because I was burning out so quickly, it was like I didn't want to go anymore. But doing intense cardio with my PT, I got on that bike and I done 40 minutes and didn't even really break out in a sweat. That was a pivotal point for me, because that was the moment I could finally say, yeah, I'm back. And that's when I realised, if your mind ain't right, then your body's going to follow. The brain's a muscle as well that a lot of us neglect. And to exercise that is you have to challenge yourself. You have to do things that you hadn't done before and put trust in someone else. Because once the brain, the mental health, is in a good place, you want to eat right, you want to drink more water, you have more energy. And what's so important for mental health, which I've realised now, being in my 30s, is that your mental health also needs challenging. I mean, it's good giving yourself all these talks saying, yep, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to affirm this and affirm that in my life, which is great. But to keep that going, you've got to keep your body healthy too. If the mind ain't right, the body will weaken. And if the body's weak, your mental health's weak. So it's a vicious circle when you think about it. You've got to keep the cogs going. You have. Especially if you're a mum as well, with young kids and teenagers, because they come with their challenges. Been there. And it's so easy, as I said earlier, to lose yourself when you've got so much going on. The one thing I want to do is just share my own personal experience and try and inspire you mamas out there that are looking after your family. That is the heart of the home, making sure everybody else is all right. You have to make sure you're okay too. You cannot neglect yourself. I cannot stress that enough. You deserve to be the best version of yourself because you're always keeping it together and ignoring what's going on up here and then what's going on here. Whether you're a single mum doing it on your own or you're a wife raising your children while your man is out grafting to put food on the table, make time for you. Now I'm going to share my gains. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for listening.